Hi, folks. I'm Matt. That's Bernardo, and we are Spartacus.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. We decided to watch the show. It's been 5 years for you?
Yeah, about 5 years. About 5 years.
And I think I saw it in 2014 or 2015, right after it ended. It had come out in DVD, and my buddy who collected all these DVDs said, "You need to watch this." I was like, "Okay." And so it was right after the series had completely finished. No, it was probably before that, because I don't think the last season was out yet. And maybe I watched the first. Either way, I watched this season and the little half season, and then it went to maybe a year or so later, and then I watched seasons 2 and 3. I was like, wait a minute, that's not the same guy.
Well, what's funny is I didn't think a lot of people noticed it wasn't the same guy until they were able to watch it back to back.
Really? Okay, maybe so, because it'd been 2 years.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job. Like, I could see, obviously, when you look at it side by side, and unlike you, I played the board game first because I thought it looked awesome when you reviewed it. And then
I know,
I was like, I have to watch the show now. And then I became obsessed. I'm like, well, this is crazy.
Yeah, and that's the fun thing, because hey, Michael, the thing is the board game we're reviewing season 1, full spoilers.
Yes.
Spoilers on everything.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen it, oh well. But
go watch it,
Spartacus, the board game, is just fun on its own. It is just an incredible game. I think last year I had it at number 2 of all time. Yes, I love it.
I've been going through to double check what characters I've seen and stuff.
There's mine. Yeah, me too. I've been going through the cards. I got out. Hold on, mine's right here. I have been going through. This has all the expansions in it. I've been going through here, looking at the cards, going, "Oh, there's Persephone or whoever." I was like, "There he is. There's Persocles or whatever," and Theocles, and I knew Theocles, but then all these other people, and I'm like so excited because did you look at? It's funny because you look at, that is episode 1, baby, and you want to see him now. Oh, go ahead.
So what's funny too is I was looking through it and I was like, oh man, because the cover shows Spartacus from season 2 and 3. That outside, he wasn't in the prequel, obviously, but the card for Spartacus, when they did the updated card, they used the original guy, which I love. I'm so happy they have the season 1 Spartacus actor on the card. Yeah. Great job on that for sure. I didn't catch
great. Just to be fair, that he is Spartacus.
Yeah,
Spartacus. Oh, go ahead.
No,
yeah, so it's a
we'll get there.
Well, I'll be showing off my mat, my Primus mat. Yeah. I love. Michael's the one that found me the Primus mat, and that Primus mat is so beautiful. It's like a blanket. This thing's so big, and the thing is, I haven't played with it yet because, as I told you, Bernardo, the other night, it has to have 6, minimum of 6, 7 preferably, because I want to play all of these characters. And like I said, I will pick last. I'll get whatever house is left over. I don't
care about that.
I want to play this game because I got to play a 6-player? My 2 cousins, my 2 nephews, and me. No, it was a 5-player once. Unbelievable. And that's the thing. So many board games. We're talking about the board game. Here we go. But so many board games, when you get past 4, they're not that good. They're bogged down. But here, the more you have, 5 was the absolute.
Get them out of here.
That was the absolute. We were You're cheering. It's so thematic. It's so thematic. As is this show. Let's get into the show. And maybe afterwards we'll rant and rave about the board game. We both took notes of season 1. Again, spoilers. Red Serpent is the first one we're going to talk about. And I want to start with Spartacus. Andy Whitfield. Is that his name? I didn't write it down.
Yes.
I think it is. Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
And we're going to talk about this a lot. But in his eyes, you can see at times desperation, fear, affection, anger, hate, sad. I mean, every emotion, and it's in his eyes. That is one of the best actors I've ever seen.
Yeah, and you know, I'm still gonna say this after we get into more of the other seasons. I don't think they wrote Spartacus's character to be as dynamic of an actor as they did in season 1. So I don't think he needed to be who he was in this season. And this guy was immaculate at it. And starting off with the first episode, the cut scenes of them kind of trailing through the journey, the snow scenes, it's like green screen. But if you freeze frame, it's honestly really amateurish, but it's so uniquely stylized that it's so interesting to watch.
It is stylized because the CGI, it's a little dated. You get the fake fires, you got the fake mist. That's obviously CGI was just coming across, and then of course the fake blood, the CGI blood, the CGI cuts.
I loved every second of it.
But it is stylized because when they do a slash in the back and you go, it pauses into like some artwork where they shift a little. I like the artwork that
it's
you
like
see
a
this
cutout
red wave,
basically with blood.
Yeah, with a cutout of blood shifting in a different direction, and like a comic book, like one of those motion comic books.
Yeah.
And so it's more about the style than the lack of
effects.
The lack of great effects, but the action as well throughout the whole series. I want to say,
there's no incredible.
There is not a moment, and I told you this, but there were some times I was like, oh, I need to go check this. I need to check this. I had to pause. It's one of these incredible shows where there is no downtime. There is no downtime. If there's downtime, that is a story that is building in that episode or in that series. Watching season 1 is like watching 5 seasons combined into, like, you took the highlights out of your best show and combined them into one season from 5 seasons. That's what Spartacus feels like, because so much happens in 13 episodes. I was counting. There are at least out of the 13 episodes, 7 of them feel like they're season finales. 7 of them could have been season finales. I'm not even playing.
The finale of the season could have been the series finale, and I would have been okay.
I'd have been okay. Well, I'd have been demanding more, I guess. But it's very historic. I will say this: it is very historically accurate. The characters who they know, Onominus. You say his name, great.
Onomaeus?
What is his name? Onomaeus. It was a real character. Gattacus was real. Crixus was real.
Agron was a real character.
Yeah, Batiatus was real. So they got as many, and then later on Crassus, but they got a lot of historical figures and gave them these characters. That is who they were like in real life. I don't know. But either way, though, everyone is just so good. I love, and we'll just get to all the stars here. Batiatus is just phenomenal. That guy was from the Mummy series. He was the wimpy little brother that walked around with Rachel Welch. And that's how I was like, why did they, when I first saw him, I was like, why did they cast him? There is no one who could play that character better. No one.
Really good.
It is incredible. And then best known for Xena Warrior Princess, Lucy Lawless. She says, guess what? I'm not a one-note actress. And she is unbelievably incredible. Here's another woman who just with a look. I mean, this is Lucy Lawless's best role ever.
100%.
Because with a look, you can tell certain words cut her, or she's angry. But she's, her face. It's just but you can see that is that you can tell when it's hurt, when it's anger, when it's power, when it's pure evil, and I love it. And you can't tell me that this isn't her favorite role of all time. There is,
Xena was like a campy show. Like, I don't care what anyone says.
It was what you paid for. It was get what you paid for. I don't hate Xena at all. I thought it was kind of one. I thought it was one note with Hercules. Yeah, and it was fine. It was fine for the time. However, if you were to tell me that actress was really good or whatnot, I'd say I don't know about that, dude. Yeah, I think you got that one good show, and that's all you'll ever be known it. Man, man. She is so good.
41 in season 1, and oh my god, does she look amazing.
At 41, she looks better than she did at any time during Xena Warrior Princess.
No, she did. Definitely.
She still looks great. I agree with that. But another, there is not usually in season 1, you can pick the stale actor or actress. You say, this one's a little rough. Like, I'm going to go with Star Trek here. Cisco in season 1 of Deep Space Nine, for Star Trek fans, Cisco was trying to feel his way through. He didn't find his character. Man, all of these, and this is back in 2010, all of them hit. All of them hit. Every single one is fantastic. So, even if it's cameo roles or whatnot, they're fantastic.
So one fun fact, and I wish I would have remembered to tell you this before you watched it. So I was looking at, there was this video where the cast talk about, their feelings on the actor's passing, and they all kind of, he was an amazing actor. And then they get to Lucy, and she says, I watched the show. He did really good. I personally didn't interact with him with the filming of the show. And I thought about that. I was like, oh, that's how did that happen? She didn't have a scene with him.
She hardly does. Yeah, she has like a few.
There's no scene where she's literally like face to face. There's maybe like she walks.
There's one or two. There's one or two where she's presented in front of him. But you're right.
Didn't interact with them almost the whole show.
Yeah, she didn't. She didn't really. Had very few scenes. So in this one is the creation of Spartacus, who goes up against Glauber. He betrays them. Glauber destroys their village. You think he and his wife have escaped. And then the worst thing that could ever happen, it's happened to all of us, where you're laying naked outside and they drag you away butt naked. So, I know that's happened to everyone. But then he goes into the arena. He fights off.
Why not?
It looks like he's going to die. He's supposed to die. But then he survives by killing all 3 fighters in the ring. And Batiatus decides to buy him but Batiatus doesn't want to buy him because he likes him. He wants to buy him for favor with one of the see, this is the little nuances. Batiatus doesn't do things out of the kindness of his heart. He wanted to buy him to show favor to get into he's still trying to get politically into big wigs and everything. And so he didn't see a fighter in Spartacus. He just saw, I can make a favor here and offer to buy him, and that way I'll settle things for right now. And it's amazing. It's amazing. The small details, how everyone stays true to their character. Because later on, if you see this, Batiatus has a point about Spartacus betraying him. Or as he would say, Jupiter spreads cheeks wide and shoves cock in ass. I just that every morning, if I didn't have kids, probably what I say. But I laugh every time I hear that. Anything for episode 1 before I go to episode 2?
No.
Okay. So episode 2 is Sacramentum Gladiatorium. I love the names here, by the way. This is where he is, he thinks he's good, but he goes up against Crixus, and Crixus is just wiping the floor with him. Something that they're going to, and this is another thing I had forgotten. Crixus is there giving lessons as he's beating Spartacus. And what does Spartacus do toward the end of the show? Yeah. I forgot that had come for, like, again, this show was smarter. I sent you a text. I went, this show is better than what I remembered. And I already thought it was an excellent show.
And what's weird is it's the only show I think I've watched where they basically do the same thing again, and it's not boring to watch. Like the same line Onimaeus says when he's training the guys in the beginning, he says the same thing again.
But here's the thing. It's like 8, 9 episodes in, and you feel like, yes, that was last season. No, wait, it's the same season. I feel that in 8 episodes, I feel like I have grown a whole year. Years have passed. You feel like you're one of the gladiators. And I was like, this is weird
And
to
then
have
you're
it.
ready to answer the questions like, what is beneath his feet?
Sand.
The blood.
Yeah. But I was like, oh my gosh, how smart is this? That it feels like we grew up with the gladiators, even though not many episodes have happened. That is amazing. That means you were invested in every player. Now, every character in the show. What I had this. I can't remember. I can't read my note here. But so he's becoming a gladiator. Like Glauber goes to meet him in prison, and Spartacus is like just angry, fierce, bulldoze eyes, and again everything reciprocates back because later on toward the end of the season, episode 11 or 12. When he sees Spartacus again, Spartacus doesn't even move. He's not and he says, not the fairer animal I last met. And that was in episode 2. I was like, they are bridging the first few episodes to the last. It's so smart. Everything was done. Every scene has a payoff. I don't know if that's ever happened. Every scene has a payoff. Now, he's trying to get his gladiator route, and he's fighting on that bridge. He has to fight Crixus. And, of course, he gets overwhelmed again, but he outsmarts Crixus, sweeps the leg, has Crixus fall. Yeah, pulls the thing out from under his foot, trips him, and by default, but through his wit, he has now made it into the house of gladiators. Now, this is also the first appearance of your favorite character, and one of mine too, Asher.
Oh, my God. I love that I hate him so much.
I know. That's the thing. Good villains like that are hard to find, and you can already, the way he acts, you can tell he's a villain. And it's so good. In fact, later on, you find out, well, I mean, in the next season you will, but they say in the show how his leg got injured, which I'd forgotten. I thought they revealed.
I didn't even know he was a gladiator. I forgot that whole kind of.
Oh, you forgot that? Okay, because wait till you get to the next half season.
Oh, I remember all that.
But he said your health, my leg's finally healed, and Crixus says from the sword I stuck in it, or Asher says that. Either way, that's where the animosity comes from. Now we're going to find out more about that later on, the next half season or prequel season, yeah, but it's unfreaking believable. Like I said, how good it is, because already you don't know it yet because he tries to befriend Spartacus, but something about him says, I don't like this weasel, and that's a good villain. He's looking out for himself. He's a great villain. And so
there's a lot of things he did that I missed, and we'll get to them as they come. But I have a list of just the turning points of Asher, basically.
Okay, yeah, please. I didn't take as many. I mean, I obviously took notes at the end. Asher has a huge payoff, man. It's amazing. His character for the first half of the season is just a weasel, and then he does something really bad, and then his story starts ramping up at the end. The last
villain in the beginning. The villain is Stylized. No. Stylized is the real villain in the beginning, and then
that's another thing. Stylized. Salonius. Lucy Lawless's character. What is her name? I just lost the name. I should have written it down. Christonia. What's Lucy Lawless's character's name? I should look it up. Anyway, but she says he stares at me with those teeth, or one of the women do. I was like, that's right. There's something about him that just says slime ball. And again, Salonius plays a great character. Now wait till you get Lucretia. Thank you. Now wait till you get to the prequel where Salonius plays a different character.
I don't remember his character, actually. I can't wait to watch this.
What I don't want to spoil it because I know I haven't watched it yet. I haven't started yet, but it's a prequel. So he and Batiatas used to be friends.
I figured that much.
And I remember seeing it. It was off-putting at first, but I was like, oh wow, look at that. Now the third episode is called Legends. this is where Varos and their friendship kind of bond together, and that's going to be imperative for this story arc as well. Varus is a good friend.
Yeah. He switches his fight in that episode too to fight. So he didn't have to fight Varo because they tried to get them to fight. So he challenged Crixus and got his butt whipped.
Yes. Now, but Asher and Varos are telling legends. They're doing backstories for Crixus. You know how he became the killer and how Barca became the butcher or whatever, and killing his own, what some people say was his father. And I love, again, it's a flashback, and again, it has that stylized art where once they win, there's a slash, everything goes to panel, and with the blood panel coming behind it. It just, I love the look of that.
You know, now, there was a scene where they're in the arena and he slices somebody, and I'm looking at it, really trying to take a look at the effect, and it's almost like they just digitally put guts coming out of it, and it's like moving a little bit, and that's okay because it looked awesome.
It's okay. I forgive the CGI completely.
No, I liked it. I personally think that stylistic choice was more entertaining to watch than doing the realism, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Now Crixus is this is the start of his intentions toward the slave. But you're right. So Batiatus is about to announce Crixus versus someone else, but during the presentation, when Spartacus bum rushes him and they go at it, he has to make it Crixus and Spartacus. So Crixus and Spartacus, and of course Crixus beats him, which is good. We like this. But what does Spartacus learn? He learns to hold up the two fingers. So for the first time, we see him beaten. He's surrendering. And that's when Batiatus says, okay, he can be healed, or controlled.
Controlled.
Molded. Yeah. And so that's what he wants. And it's amazing. It's an amazing ending because you hold up two fingers is what, say it again. Ozymandias? Ozymandias tells him, and he's like, I do not surrender. He's not going to surrender. But he learns, okay, I've got to stay alive. Why? Got to find my wife. So that's on his thing. That's what's humbling him. Again, everything full circle on this. It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. And he made a really smart play. What Batiatus does to his wife, because if he didn't, the play was for him to leave and escape with her. But now he's this mindless, I don't know what else to live for kind of thing.
Well, yeah, later on, and that's another great character turn. Now the next episode is called The Thing in the Pit. This is like they do pit because he thinks Spartacus is wild. He is. So he just sends him to the pit. The pit is embarrassing. It's not for gladiators. It's just for brawlers. It's for brawlers, It's just and they use random weapons every round, and it's to the death. There is no surrender. They will show no quarter, but they fight to the death. And of course, he makes a bargain with Batiatus saying, hey, look, you bet, because he starts winning. I mean, Spartacus just starts dominating, gets a name in the pit where everyone's voted against. He said, vote everything you have against me and I will die and you will get the money. But with that money, save my wife. And Batiatus says it, but I don't think he was ever going to do it. Either way, though, right as Spartacus is about to, get the dealing blow, someone is trying to assassinate Batiatus. So now he has to last minute defeat this butcher, and then he throws the sword and kills the guy. And but the thing is, though, Batiatus wants to be mad because he did not.
Hammer.
He did. Oh, it was a hammer. Okay, yeah, it was an axe. That's what it was, axe. But the thing is, though, Batiatus can't get mad because now he's lost all his money because Spartacus won. But Spartacus won to save his life, and so it's the perfect situation to end that episode on. Because what do you do? And if I was watching this for the first time, and I don't remember, I was thinking, how did they get out of this? How does he not die and Batiatus not kill him? Because he's so mad, you just made me lose my fortune. And that's how you do it.
Yeah, what makes
go ahead.
him make him a gladiator again? And it's like, well, he earned his right now.
Yeah. And that's how he earns his right to get back out of the pits now. Now, here's what I was thinking. We got to go back to the board game here. I thought a third expansion they should have done. You have the pit. The pit is a smaller board because it's smaller arena, so there's not many places to move. Okay? So moving around doesn't really help you because you're in a smaller board. Also, there's a deck of pit cards, and you shuffle it, and someone draws random. It could be bare hands, or it could be a sword, or claws, or the axe, or the sheath, or the knife, or or brass knuckles like you got in the first one. That is an expansion they could have done just called In the Pit with a deck of cards and probably some more figurines.
It could be, it could be what happens when you're in the arena and you don't kill that person. You send them to the pit instead.
No, here's the thing. Yeah, you can play cards that will send people to a pit, but the pit games, they are death, automatic. An injury is a death. An automatic injury or beheading, of course, is death. But anything is automatic death. But why would I risk someone if I know they're going to die? The odds are higher. They're double what they are in the Coliseum. So you can make more money, but the risk of losing and you can't arm your gladiator either. So big risk, big reward, because you can bet now double what you can in the Coliseum. So you make fast money, but you run the risk of drawing a bad card or rolling the bad die and not being able to defeat them.
So there was someone that reached out to me on my YouTube a while back, and they sent me on Google. I have to actually look at it again. It was like Blood and Sand. I can't remember. They called it was an expansion where they created their own fan thing, and it looked really cool. But at the time, I didn't read too far into what they did, but they had a whole instructions, rules, cards. They did all the work. So I'll have to send that over and take a look and see what it's like now.
Well, another one I thought about, and this is more for season 2, is you do a 1v all, like one person plays the gladiators, one person plays the Roman soldiers. The Roman soldiers are endless, and the gladiators, once they fall, they're done. And you have a score track, and both of them are trying to get the most scores. Gladiators are worth more points fallen. Romans aren't worth as many points, but they're weaker. But you have endless forces. So just switching the game up, but keeping the Spartacus theme. I've got to see that. I've got to see those. I didn't think about fan expansions.
What would be funny?
Go ahead.
If you did a version of the game where Theocles starts in the arena and you got to go in there and try to kill him because he's so hard to beat. It'd just be so funny. I think it's so exciting when he's in the game because he's not impossible to kill, but he becomes an actual threat. So just the thought of him starting off in the pit or in the arena and everyone that decides to go in there has to try to fight him for money is hilarious because you're going to bet on Theocles. But if you beat him, that's a lot of money.
Oh, man. I would love to see. I see someone created one, but it doesn't look like. VGG? Yeah, it's called Vesuvius, but it doesn't.
No, this one I'll look for it. It's definitely on my Google Drive, and it's cards, it's everything in it. And at the time I didn't think much of it because there was kind of a lot going on with it. But now I got a new wave of Spartacus excitement. I need something new, aka a new game of that in like now.
Yeah, the new version looks so ugly. All right, anyway, sorry, it does. Okay, so. Maybe they'll pick up the IP again now that the show's coming back. Anyway, the next one is called Shadow Games. And of course, this is the first one that could have been a season ender because it was so good. But there's been a drought this whole time we hear about. And the thing is, we're only like 5 episodes in, and they're already talking drought. So we're thinking drought. Of course, Selenius wants revenge on Spartacus because Spartacus killed 3 of his men. So he invites Batiatus to appear in the games with Crixus and Spartacus. He's like, whoa, my two best people. Yeah. Against Theocles. And Theocles, they've already talked about. He is the shadow of death. You know, he doesn't
him in the prequel, do they?
They don't show him in the prequel.
But Anameus, they said, was the only one that survived. I'm like, man, I would have loved to see that.
No, Varo tells about the legend, but you don't ever see him. All you see is this massive shadow, and the person. I love it. That gladiator shooting up into the sky and splitting in half. That's just like he's just like a monster. So, and I like that we only see Theocles in this episode, and that's it. And he's such a big, impactful player because did they really find an actor that big? They could have.
Yeah, I was right about to say that. I was like, was he just gigantic and literally an ogre?
Well, actors could be 5'10", under 6 feet. They could be smaller, and maybe they just got a 7-foot dude.
He even looked like he was big. If he was not as tall as he was, he looked like he was that tall.
Those people exist, and remember, all he had to do was scream the whole time. Rah! That's why anyone can do that. So you don't really need an actor. You just need a big, tall.
Movements were so good. So good.
It's great, but yeah, he's so good. So they're training. I love this. They're training against Oenomaus. Why can't I say his name? Oenomaus. And Oenomaus takes off the chest plate and shows the scar. He's the only one ever to fight Theocles and live. I love that. I love the story. I love that they can't beat him. Crixus and Spartacus can't even beat him. So what chance do they have against Theocles if they can't beat him? I like later on that, Spartacus is trying to work with Crixus, and in the steam room he says that, but Crixus doesn't like him and they start brawling. And this is funny because, folks, when I say there's nudity, it's equal opportunity nudity for all. If they're going to show full frontals,
I did not expect some of that nudity.
It is for male and female, and there is no discrimination when it comes to time on how much time these get than those. Okay, but here's the thing:
it's all motivated though in this season.
And the thing is, there's no doubt they're naked when they're fighting because you get to see them just fight, and they're naked. And we got tallywhacker on tallywhacker action as they're rolling around there. I was like, this is.
This is growing up out of that character saying, man, I really did show off my stuff on TV.
I mean, their thingies touched, but I was like, oh, they really hate each other. Okay, so anyway, I wanted to make a note about that. Anyway, Bartiatus gets his revenge on the person who's been trying to kill him, the guy who he owed money to for the grain earlier. And that, again, is he's sitting there in the dark with a knife to his son. Barca kills him. He said, kill the child. And you're like, oh, no. And I mean,
show it. I was gonna
when we say child, we're talking like 3 years old. Yeah. This kid is 3 or 4. He's not that old. And so they don't show it. But it is dark. It is dark. And then, of course, during the battle, the news breaks that someone has murdered that whole family. And Buddy goes, surely a tragic loss. And his wife is like looking at him like, because she didn't know. What did you do? Yeah. But, of course, this is the big battle with Theocles, which is awesome. I showed it to my nephews because they play the game. They've never seen the show. So we watch with it. That's Theocles, and you can see their eyes like, dong. Because, I mean, he's just a beast of a guy just attacking them. And then the whole jump shield, which is going to come back, jumping on the shield and attacking high.
I was going to say that. That's a full circle moment.
That's a full circle moment, but they kill Theocles. But after Crixus is hurt and he's bleeding and you think he may die, he's the one that shines the helmet in Theocles' eyes to give Spartacus the upper hand, the moment of surprise to get the killing blows. But he still chops him 3 times in the neck, shoulder, and he's still, blood's coming out, and he's going, rah. And I was like, dude. But when they knock him down and they start cheering, and then the crowd goes silent, they're like, What? We just beat him. You just saw we both sliced him up.
And the clouds is like, now I can start.
And the clouds roll in. And then the shadow of death rises. And it's like he's superhuman because he's pale. He's an albino. So he's pale white. And he just looks like death. And he's above them. And you're like, oh no.
Like, I mean, he gets stabbed. Like they shove it through the sword through him too.
And he laughs. I mean, this guy is just a tank.
He headbutts him. No, he headbutts him, douche.
Yeah, headbutts Crixus. But I mean, Spartacus goes 1 in the shoulder. He's still yelling. 2 in the shoulder. And now blood's spurting. He's spurting. But he's just, Theocles is still yelling. Has to get a 3rd hack to finally kill him. The dude does not die. That's why in the game, if I ever see Theocles come out,
all the money,
all the money, baby, all coin in hand for I go all in for Theocles. I don't lie. If you're gonna outbid me, you better bid every penny you have, because that's the only man I want in this world. He is a beast. But anyway, at the end, just to show you that this could be a season finale, he's screaming, he lifts his hands up, and then I love the first drop. It's Crixus on the ground, and then that drop of water, the slow motion, badoosh, and sand like explodes. It's the imagery is what's most important there. That first drop, and then everyone's stunned. Yeah, the clouds open up. It rains. Everyone starts going nuts now because the rain has come just at the right time. And there's Spartacus just feeling the rain, feeling the crowd. He is finally victorious for the first time. Season finale. That's what it could have been. But no, we got the next one that's called Delicate Things.
The bringer of rain.
And Delicate Things, Spartacus is going to have his wife come to him. So he's planning on killing everyone. Batiatus, the guards, escaping. But what he does, he decides to use all his winnings from that Primus and buy everyone, wine and hookers, to get them drunk and off their game.
So he can get out.
Oenomaus.
He got him drunk.
Well, he drugged his wine because Oenomaus doesn't drink. So he drugged his wine, has this escape plan, and I love the look he gives Varos. Like, goodbye, my friend. And Varos is also not, it's a look, but it's a goodbye look. And of course, Barcus has bid on the B plot. Asher, remember? This is Asher's first big move. Asher has collected a bet from a fool, Barca, who put money on Spartacus and Crixus. Well, now he owes him tens of thousands of coin. Asher doesn't have that money, and Barca's like, "I will kill you if you don't." So he's going to buy
money to buy his freedom,
him and his boyfriend's freedom. And so, yeah, go ahead.
But Asher overheard prior that he was telling his boyfriend Petros that he didn't kill the boy, that he let him go. So, he believed, so he didn't think that he had blood on his hands of a child. But what Asher overheard was that he was lying to him to tell his boyfriend that because he didn't want to think that. But Asher uses that as leverage later, which is his real big freaking play. That's when Asher flips it all. 3 seconds.
Asher brings the scheme together, pretends the boy's still alive, gets the boyfriend to lie, Petrus to lie about it, or not lie about it, but Petrus just tells the truth as he knows it, but it is not the truth. But Asher has to work quick, and so Barca gets killed, so he doesn't have to owe money. And then shortly after that, they discovered that the news was fake.
Well, it's not even just fake. It's Asher pays this dude to tell them that.
Batiatus doesn't know that.
Yeah, I know, which I didn't know it either. I was a new reveal to me again.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that one, but it was great. Now, Oenomaus suspects foul play, but he doesn't know yet. At this point, he doesn't know. He just doesn't trust Asher because he hears from Petrus what had happened. Anyway, of course, the ending, another season finale here that could have happened was his wife is finally coming. He's stolen the dagger from the boy. Everything is to Everyone's drunk or passed out, and he's ready to kill Batiatus or get out the door, take him hostage, take his wife, and leave because he's got his armor on. And then he notices the guy is hurt. He has blood on his robes, and he says they attacked. And so he runs to the back of the carriage where his wife flops out. She's all bloodied, holds her in his arms, cries, and first off, Lucretia is so upset that Batiatus brought his wife there. But then Batiatus says, my bargain is done. He has his dead wife. And then she realizes that was the plan all along, was to bring her, kill her, so he won't have to look for her. And he has nothing left to live for but to be Spartacus. But that's the other thing.
You wonder if that was his plan initially, or if it was because his wife mentioned that, if you give him his wife, he's not going to obey you anymore. And I think that may have sparked him to realize that might have been true. I don't know if I believe he was going to do that from the beginning.
I think he was. I think he is that evil and conniving, and he's just not a great person. But the thing is, there's a beautiful theme here that Spartacus goes, that is not my name. He says that several times. He went, I can't wait to hear my wife say my name, my true name, and then, of course she dies and he'll never hear his name, being said, his real name. So now his only moniker is Spartacus. That's what he says. And that I'll skip to the next episode, Great and Unfortunate Things, because that's where he says, but he said, Spartacus is not my name. No one will say my name. Like she said, I will never hear my name. It's such a great moment because Batiatus is pretending to mourn. He said, the fault is mine. I should have put Barca before I let him go free. I mean, he just tells lie upon lie. And I just love it.
And it helps kind of anchor him to, feeling like, he owes him. And that's when, he agrees to be, I'm going to do this for you, but you're going to be Spartacus at this moment on.
Yeah. And that's when he's like, okay, I got nothing else. And you're an honorable man is what he thought of Batiatus. But I mean, this is where we see a flashback where he first met Sura, his wife, which was nice. A prophet, which, by the way, as history tells it, she was a prophetess in her town. So all that stuff was real too, historically. And on Emmaus,
you don't even know my name, do you?
Yeah. Petra, that's what he says. He says, you don't even know my name. Sure, your name is very well known in the tribe. But they still say, and I love that because we don't know what his name was, his real name was. They knew it wasn't Spartacus. But either way, though, Oenomaus is on to Asher because Petrus tells him a story that doesn't add up. Also, Varo gets to see his family. We get to see his family.
Wife pregnant with another guy.
Wife pregnant with another guy. Varo's going to go off the deep end in the next episode. But Oenomaus had woken up, by the way, when his wife was dead. Oenomaus had woken up, so the drug didn't fully work. And Oenomaus was grabbing his whip, like getting ready to attack Spartacus. But when he saw his wife dead, he held off. But now he confronts Spartacus on it, like, you drugged me. Your plan was to escape. This is where Oenomaus doesn't trust Spartacus now. He doesn't until like the end of the last episode. He does not trust him. That is not their champion.
He necessarily didn't trust Spartacus, but he trusted Crixus. That was what it came down to.
Yeah. He had more faith in Crixus. Now, unfortunately, a sad fate of Petrus. Not all the characters live. Petrus was not a gladiator, but he's he found an abusive. He's in an abusive forced relationship, and so he kills himself because he's so sad and alone, and he thinks Barca has left him. He doesn't know Barca died. At first he doesn't understand it, but then he just must accept it since everyone's saying that Barca left without him because there wasn't enough money.
I remember seeing him in the other series too. I don't know why I feel like I remember seeing him.
There may be other characters like him in the further seasons.
Or at least like look similar. I don't know what it was, but I think his death was super it tied up the loose end of not having to explain that because you don't want to leave that weird.
No.
You got to figure out at some point kind of thing.
You got to do something with the yeah.
And
Now,
it finally did something I had thought since literally the first episode, which is when is somebody going to kick somebody off that damn cliff?
and he does.
Raiders got kicked right off that damn cliff.
Which later on, that even comes full circle in a hilarious joke when he's touring the boy around the ludus, he goes, "Has anyone ever fallen?" He went, "I have only seen one." That's what he said. I laughed. I was like, I forgot about that. That's so funny. But anyway, this is the third episode where it could have been a season finale because after he wins the reenactment, this is where he just abandons his old self. This is supposed to be him now assuming he's Spartacus. He's going to play a Roman defeating Thracians, his own people. And he decides at first he doesn't want to do it, but then decides I have nothing else to live for, does it. And what does he say? At the very beginning, he gives the big line, "I am Spartacus." But at the very beginning of the episode, he told Batiatus, "That is not my name." And now, full circle, he has accepted it. You could go season ender right there. So again, 3 of them right there. I've still probably got 4 more to go, but moving on, Mark of the Brotherhood. Crixus has been injured this whole time. Crixus' story is like he's trying to get back to health, and he is going to be sold because at this point he's too far, he's too slow, he hasn't fought. But Batiatus can still get some good coin for him because some people remember him as a good fighter. No one knows how badly he was injured, so he thinks he can get rid of him, and he's not going to be able to fight Spartacus. Oh, and this is the part I think where Spartacus now is slamming him to the ground and teaching the new recruits the same way that Crixus taught the new recruits when Spartacus. Yeah. Again, when I was watching that episode, I was going, "You're kidding me? That is the same thing as the last
Spartacus, one." Yeah. What is under their feet? Yeah, that's how I was getting at.
Yeah.
And he repeats the same line.
And another lineup of full frontal male nudity. It's the blonde girl, Ephesius,
Lithius or something like that.
Yeah, the blonde Glauber's wife. She's so what is it?
She's horny for some gladiators.
Yeah, she's horny for some gladiators. She's so horny, she has them all disrobe. So you're just looking at a row full of schlongs.
Well, no, Batiatus is like, let's make your decision easier.
Drop your pants. Because he knows what she likes. And of course, she picks his one with the biggest. And we can all tell that too. So, which is kind of how you should pick a gladiator. In my opinion, if I was buying a gladiator, I'd like, you shall drop trowel. But anyway, of course, she tells the gladiator, "I will give your freedom if you grant me one request." And and that's the beautiful thing. They don't tell us what that request is, but you already know she hates Spartacus. She hates him because he went against her husband, Glauber. So she's always hated him, always cheered for him to die. So now she's like, I have my own secret assassin.
That's the only thing that would have made this season better is if Glauber died in this season because I can't stand that motherfucker.
Yeah, I know, for real. But what happens is he does almost succeed, but Crixus saves Spartacus. And why does he do it? Because you're still a brother. Now, looking back at further episodes, he does correct Spartacus when he's on top. This is a brotherhood. You do everything for a brother. So he's actually doing what he's been preaching. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, wow. So another like little connection there. Now, when Crixus saves him, now Batiatus has to keep him because he's so loyal. So now he's like mad again. But of course, the wife really wants him because the wife really wants him several times. Mm-hmm. And so it's funny because even Crixus, gets some renewed energy when he finds out he's on the chopping block to leave. And let's just say, he has a hard a hard argument that Lucretia can't ignore.
And then when he was loving the slave, he had to reduce his stamina.
Yeah, stamina. Now, Crixus say, but the worst death, and you do see it, I forgot about this one. Not only did they crucify the recruit who tried to kill Spartacus, who never said Ithithia, I can't remember her name, but they never said Glauber's wife's name. He didn't say Glauber's, but they know it was Glauber's wife who said, Batiatus knows this. So they crucify this guy, and they chop off that member that you saw earlier. And they show it, memberless, gushing blood. And I was like, CGI blood. And I was like, whoa, I don't remember this. That was a brutal death right there. But of course, Spartacus looked straight at her during the crucifixion like, I know it was you. It's just so good. And this is the part we should say, there is a Varo story where he's upset at his wife. He's gambling all his money away. He cheats on his wife. Finally, he buys a whore or whatnot from Asher. But Spartacus, and this is a great line, and he said, Varus, you should not spite her. It's not her fault. It's not her fault. He went,
my wife's for one more day, I would.
He said, at least you can still hold her.
Yeah, that's what.
And I was like, oh man, that's solid. And Varus realizes, I am being too hard. I am being unfair. I'm going to turn around. And I love it. I love it because, of course, that friendship is going to be noticed by Ithithia, I think is her name. Now, Glauber's wife. Yeah, whatever.
I literally have it here. Yeah.
But
Lilithia.
It is noticed by Lilithia. And so she's going to exploit that later on. But the next one is just called, I love the title, Whore. This is what the title is. And, there's Lucretia is letting women into her house. This one noble woman wants to sleep with a gladiator. And Lithia finds that out. And of course, she wants to sleep with a gladiator too.
What did Lucy Lawless decide to do? Set her ass up.
Well, she picks Crixus, which pisses off Lucretia. And so she wants to save up. But because Spartacus hasn't made love in a long time, but they say in a long time, but in actuality, it's only been like 9 episodes. That's the thing. But you feel like years have passed. You feel like the time has gone on.
A lot of time has passed. Remember, they were on sea. There was a lot of
there's a lot of time that's passed since then. So they bring him that woman that's going to become later on in the show, bigger in the show. But he won't sleep with her because he doesn't want to do any of that. Now, Asher. And what we don't realize is that a seed is being planted for a story arc that's going to pay off toward the end. He warns Selenius of a assassination that fails
on his life. He warned him that if the place he was going to regularly, if he goes there again, that person's going to die. So then someone else gets killed. And that's when he starts to have grip on
some pull with Selenius. And you don't realize, I had forgotten that was a setup, but it was a setup there. Now, when she does the whole switcheroo with Lilithia, when she does the whole switcheroo with her, she makes Spartacus, she said, don't say a word, just grunts and moan. You don't speak to her. You wear your mask, keep your mask on all times. But if you notice, she also, and I forgot about this, covered him in gold paint. That way she can't see if he has scars. And I was like, oh, this show is smarter than I gave it credit for, because that's why she made him so different. Now, it's supposed to be God and Goddess is what it's supposed to be. But the thing is, though, of course, Lucretia set this all up to have her friend see them together and start the rumor, thinking, now I have something on her. Now I am in control of this relationship, because the whole time Lilithia has been, dogging Lucretia. Now she has the upper hand on her, the biggest dirt. But I love it when he takes off her mask and she takes off his. And she's like, She is like so terrified. And then he just goes to choke her. He's because he hates her. And you're thinking, wow, what would that be like? That's what I thought. I like, who is someone that I cannot stand? That if I was in that situation, what would I do? And folks, we all have that person, like never in a million years with that person. They're so hideous. And I would be sick to my stomach. I would literally vomit right then and there.
And my favorite line comes in after that when he's talking to Batiatus and he goes, "I'm sorry for a moment who I used to be slipped
Yes! I'm sorry, but my former self came out for a moment." And I love that. I love that. But the coolest, and this is number 4, could have been a season ender. And I forgot how violent this was. Ilithia takes the girl as she's laughing. She says, stop laughing, and smacks her against the floor and smacks her. And this is 2010. There is a broken skull. You see the broken skull with brain matter with brain matter pushed out. And then the eyeball is out. I didn't know. I'd forgotten they got that graphic. And I was like,
it was brutal.
Whoa. And it's like a violent. So there ain't no halfway doing it here. There is a violent death for everybody. And I was like, whoa. Well, now what has she done? She's killed the niece or daughter of one of the most powerful people in Rome. And now Lucretia really has her by the, I don't know.
You know, they were being discreet because she's obviously not going to say, I'm coming to sleep with a gladiator. So no one knew where she was. She like had no paper trail. It was an easy get rid of.
Yeah. So. It was incredible. So the next one here, again, another season ender there. Party Favor, which again, this is number 5 season finale. Could have been. The moment I saw the thing, Party Favor, I knew it was going to happen. It's the Calvinus. Who is this? That boy.
Oh God, yeah,
that boy's birthday. Oh. And I know you feel bad too. So Ilithia sees the friendship.
This happens first.
Yeah, and then they have a game for a little wait. That's when he plays a board game. What kind of game was that with Batiatus? Remember, he's a master. Yeah, it's like a chess game. Yeah. They feel like they're friends because they drank Have a Good Night. But then what happens? He attacks the guard for roughing up the girl. And then Batiatus dresses him down like, we're not friends. You report to me and stuff like that. Anyway, Ilithia.
But he did send the guy away too. So,
yeah, he did. Yeah. But Ilithia has a plot again to hurt Spartacus. So she bathes with the little boy.
Yeah.
So that happens. Yep, she sleeps with a minor, and wines and dines.
Why exactly until it happens.
Yeah. So she has said, but then I also know something else that I think is subtle. I think she told him to say that about Crixus. He is past his prime, to hurt Lucretia and embarrass Crixus in front of everyone. I think that was also Ilithia too. I think she said, do that, say this, because she's wanting to just poke hot pokers in everyone. And so Varos is the one, and Varos thinks, hey, this is great. And they're laughing, having a good time. And he wins. He's got the sword right here. Master, what shall I do? Because the boy is master for the day. And the boy goes like this. And the whole crowd goes silent. And that's when Batiatus goes, I believe we agreed to an exhibition. He went, I will pay for the slave. Look at my boy. Yeah, he's so proud he'd make a hard decision like that. And so now there's a great scene. Again, Spartacus' eyes looking at Batiatus. There is no words exchanged. There is no yelling, no grunting. There is, in his eyes, he is begging Batiatus to don't make me do this. Don't make me do this. The eyes, the face is so good. The acting's so good.
He didn't freaking Varo pulls himself onto his sword and helps him kill him. Oh,
it is heartbreaking. Yeah, he pulls the sword into his neck and he's choking up blood. But he said, I love you. I would do the same for you. You just take care of my wife and boy. And it's heartbreaking because they know here they were on a high, the best of friends. And after he is saved, and the thing is, build up. Varos fell into got a rough spot. Spartacus lifts him up, and their friendship's even stronger now. And then this happens. And this is a real tear your heart out moment. I mean, this is super sad. And of course, special ending number 5. I mean, season ender number 5, it could have been. Season finale number 5. But then we get to season finale number 6. That could have been good. Old wounds. Spartacus got cut by. Oh, go ahead.
So in that episode, oh wait, no, this happens first. Yeah, go.
Okay,
ahead.
He gets cut by Varos in the show, and that last battle. It's just a nick, but he forgets to treat it. It gets infected. The cut on his ribs, and while he's having these visions of Varos being around and Varos appearing before him, it's really the infection that is given him. So it's not. Everything has a double meaning. And while he's sweating, everyone thinks he is mourning the loss of his friend, but then he passes out, and they realize the infection is bad, and he could die. Batiatus is mad because why didn't anyone see this? He didn't tell anyone. He didn't get it treated. He didn't complain. He was too busy mourning over his friend, but yet the infection had given him a high fever. He has that fever dream, and I love this, where he squeezes, and instead of guts, gold coin starts falling out. And all these lessons are being taught. Varo says that's all he sees you as. And then his wife keeps telling him, tend to the wound. Tend to the wound. And you think it's its own wound, but then you flash back to a few episodes earlier when he sees
where he passes the dude that
the driver
is getting ravished by these slaves and realizes the wound. He didn't have a wound, and
he never had a wound on his stomach.
Wakes up in his med bed and goes up and's like, lock the door and unchain me. I'll take care of it, and just kills the dude because he asks him, why don't you have a wound? What actually happened? And that's when he finds out Batiatus is the one that killed his wife.
Yeah, because he says it during his death rattle, Batiatus. So very brilliant stuff there. So he knows who the enemy is. Now, there's a lot of stories going on because Spartacus has fallen ill. Now Crixus, it's his turn to get a lucky break, and he delivers in the Primus when you thought he was too much. Now, Lucretia is having issues, and she doesn't feel well, so she has to leave. She doesn't want to leave. She wants to watch Crixus, but Batiatus makes her leave. Now, later on, we find out why she's not feeling well, but she and the slave girl leave. When Crixus is he's hearing the crowd, he's roaring, he looks up, and now he's sad because the slave girl wasn't there to witness his victory, that he would dedicate her. So in the moment of again, I'm not reading too much in this episode. They planned this. All he talks about is the roar of the crowd, the love. This is what he finally got everything he wanted, but he's upset because she is not there to experience that moment.
You realize there's something more important. That was one of the things that Spartacus came full circle. He's like, is there nothing more? He's like, I don't need anything but the roar of the crowd. And that was kind of like it was literally the next episode where he found that like, that wasn't what there was more out there.
Now we should say in the episode prior, not only do they kill Varos, but he scoffs at Batiatus when he says, you want to be a senator? You know what, you keep to what you do well. Yeah. And so Batiatus goes mad, kidnaps him, tortures him, and then you think Selenius is going to save him because Asher has ratted out his boss, and the whole time
it was a setup to make it seem like Selenius was the one killing.
Was the one who killed him. And he was already dead by the time, and then that's when the guards came at the right time. It was all a big setup, and then you find out that Asher, who you thought was a traitor the whole time, was like, he played him. He played him the whole, because he goes, no, he cannot see my face. He already knows who I am. He'll see my face. I must flee the city. And Stylized goes, you coward, take your money and run. But no, Asher knows I can't be here because we're going to set you up. It's brilliant.
And it's also, and following that, it's also when Asher asks to be a gladiator, and Batiatas didn't want him to fight because he said he was too cunning to waste in battle.
That was earlier. Yeah, I forgot. When his leg brace comes off, he's like, who's ready to fight Asher? And everyone's laughing at him, but he's not going to be a gladiator anymore. And so then, remember, potential season finale number 6, when Spartacus is healed and he's attacking the wooden man, and Batiatas goes, my champion, I see you are well. I see you are well. That is good to see. He went, yes, Doctore. He goes, I am myself again. Meaning, I'm not Spartacus anymore. I'm the Thracian that wants to kill you again. That line, go to that season finale stuff there, man. When he said, I am myself again. Yes. I love it. I was just as pumped when he said a few episodes earlier, I am Spartacus. I was just as pumped when I heard, I am myself again.
And the look on his face when he looks up at Batiatas, like he fucking, like he knows. Oh my God, so good. So good.
Wait. Who? Barca and Petrus deserve better. Also found out that Eka Darvell, who played Petrus, was also the Red Ranger, Power Ranger.
Oh, nice.
Shut the front door. RPM. Did not know that. RPM. Wow. I'm missing.
You know what? I think I vaguely remember this. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and you hate the kid too. I'm sorry. I should have been paying attention to these comments here. So anyway, we're getting close to the end here, but Revelations, where is another, this is my 7th season finale that could have been a season finale besides the season finale. Revelations, Solonius, it begins where he kills, Solonius and Spartacus fight. Solonius says, Batiatas is not your friend. He's like, I know, he will die. He will soon join you. And Solonius is at least happy for that. So we see Solonius's death, which is at the end. And by the way, for an old dude, he looked kind of ripped in that scene. And that wasn't CGI.
He was like, remember, you were at point of death and you redeemed yourself. So he was really trying to go in to survive.
Exactly. Now, he finds out from the slave girl that he can't kill Batiatas due to a Roman law. If he kills him, then all slaves die, not just him. But still, he still wants to kill him, but then sees that Varo's wife, who hates Spartacus because she killed her husband, she doesn't know the reasoning behind it all. She finds that out in the last episode. But she knows she hates Spartacus. She doesn't want his money. She said, I don't want your money. And she'll work it off. Well, now he can't kill Batiatas because if he does, then she's in trouble. And he swore to protect her. It's wonderful storytelling. Wonderful storytelling here. Now, of course, Asher finds out that Crixus loves that girl. So now he's not a slave anymore. He is promoted. He's a free man. He's been promoted in the house of Batiatas. And he says, I want one thing. And he wants what Crixus can't have, which is the slave. Now, this is another great episode where Glauber returns and you see Spartacus fight in the fountain.
He has such a punchable freaking face. Man, dude.
Oh, Glauber's wonderful. Glauber's wonderful. He's a wonderful character.
And I hate the other guy more. Or I hate him more than the guy that they make bigger in season. I think it's season 3. I can't remember. Was it Caesar? Is it Caesar?
Crassus?
No, Caesar, the main villain.
Caesar. Oh yeah.
Like,
oh no, that's
I didn't think he was as powerfully annoying as Glauber. I can't. Oh my God, Glauber just.
Glauber, but he's that's good. That's what you want. You want to be hated.
He is, but I love Asher, and I love that I hate him because he's.
By the way, I hate Glauber too, but he's one of my favorites to play as.
I didn't think
my nephews
I hate playing as. I've played as them all at this point.
Yeah, I played it. Well, the only one that's really hard to play as is Selenius. My nephews always pick Selenius. for whatever reason. They realize, and then my other nephew loves, and I think they're in season 2, but the brother sister.
Yeah, they're in season 2. Yeah.
Because he came close to winning with them. Now, this was a guy, he must be in season 2. He's in the base game, but he must be season 2 because I don't remember seeing him. Yeah, I don't remember seeing him.
Yeah, I don't remember him either. He wasn't in season 1.
Well, no, he had to be because look, there's Lucretia and there's Alithia in there in the background. So I don't remember seeing him.
Oh, he was the husband of the rich girl that got killed, I think.
Was he?
I think so. Let me look.
I don't remember him.
Yeah, because they did show her husband.
Yeah. But anyway, while you're looking at that,
Yup, he is in it. He is in season 1. Yep.
Okay. Okay, so Crixus, I just forgot about him. But Crixus attacks Asher right after Spartacus bows. Nice. So Glauber can't say that Batiatus doesn't have a rule over his gladiators. Then Crixus ruins it all by attacking Asher in a jealous rage, thereby exposing that he's been sleeping with her, pissing Lucretia off. I mean, everything just melts down around Crixus. He is whipped. He is thrown in jail. He has fallen so fast. Has he fallen out? Because he was getting he was starting to win a lot and, about to challenge Spartacus. But this is also when the slave tells Oenomaus that about Barca, and so now he's on to Asher now. But he's about to get rid of Crixus. He's done with him. He's going to whip him. And he tells his wife, you can't sleep with him anymore. Like he knew the whole time. He is not an idiot. And I love that because she thought she was getting away with something, but she wasn't.
Yeah, and Adrian, it seems like you're kind of following along with us as well. If you didn't know, there's going to be a House of Asher, which is like a what if series.
Yeah.
Following that same actor, which he looks great. He almost looks the same, which is kind of.
I bet that's a CGI. The trailer.
No, I looked at what he looks like outside of the show. He looks great.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he aged well. The other thing is that what was the other? Oh, when Glauba's about to leave and say, I'm not supporting you for nothing. You're junk, you're garbage. Then they produce the hand of the girl that died. He said, would you like the rest of the body? I'll ship it to your place. And so now he's mad at his wife, makes Alithia stay there. He's pissed. Now he has to back Batiatus for local government. He doesn't want to do it, but now his wife has done something really stupid. She was
slick. She was trying to screw him all over and walk away as great, and they put her back in her place.
And they put her back in her place. It shows that they've once again that got the upper hand. But it ends with him sitting in the jail cell they say, Spartacus, do you have a plan? He went, yes, we kill them all, which is what his wife told him at the very first episode. Kill them all. And that could have been the season finale. But no, the season finale has to be titled, We Kill Them All. For titles, this is fantastic. I like how it begins with Spartacus and Crixus fighting and then flashes back 2 days before, then back to their fight that they're doing in the yard with all the royals, the Romans watching in the balcony. And then it goes back a day before. Then it goes back to their fight as Spartacus is trying to convince Crixus to join him, and Crixus won't do it. Then it goes to the morning of. We find out that
he's trying to poison him to weaken him.
Yeah, he's poisoned him to weaken him. Oenomaus finds out he's about to be freed and take over the Ludus. He wants Crixus to be his man. Finally, Barca's death is revealed. Asher was the one, and so Oenomaus is on to him. But anyway, at the very end, when he says, they drugged you, Crixus, they drugged you. That's why you're not feeling so well. So then Crixus looks up and he sees Lucretia. And right now he hates it. Because remember, she says, I'm pregnant with your baby. Was there any love? And he doesn't love her at all. He tells her that. Well, now she's a woman spurned. She wants him to die. And so he realizes, I'm an idiot. So then he does the same symbol, what he did with, again, from Theocles, tap the shield as let's do the move. And you talk about one of the coolest scenes in TV history when he jumps up on the shield, slow motion, up to the balcony, stretching the arm and the sword. And then a little bad CGI, but Bartimaeus grabs that Roman and puts him in front of him, and the sword goes through his head instead of Batiatus. It's so good because then Spartacus is about to chop Batiatus, but then a whip comes around him. And it's
that is the coolest scene with the shield and the slow motion. Oh my god!
Everything is so awesome. Varos's wife she's trying to save the child, but when the child lets it slip that he was the one who killed Varos, she grabs the knife and just kills him, and she kills the boy, which is sound. You want the boy to die, but that he die because he loves gladiators. He wants to be a gladiator one day, but he dies at the hands of a slave, a woman slave. Like the insult to injury on his death, is the thing there. But then the best kill wasn't even Batiatus at the end, which was good, but it was when Crixus saw Lucretia and told her, and she thinks he's coming to kill me. And when he stabs her, she goes, oh, and then he walks away and she's still there. And you're like, he didn't kill her? And then you noticed he killed the baby.
He said, no, he said a line, something along the lines of, I would never want to have you, for you to carry
your baby. And so he stabbed her wound. I mean, honestly, this is something that you should bring grandma in to watch with you. It's real family fun. I'm kidding. That is super. I'd forgotten how violent. I thought I couldn't remember. I thought he just stabbed her and killed her, but he killed the baby in her stomach with the sword and then left her alone.
Because she becomes more annoying.
Well, I remember I was so confused when she came back. I was like, didn't she die? No, he killed the baby. And that's the thing at the end when she goes, Batiatus, and he looks and he sees that the baby's been hurt. And the way that they fall, where they're kind of holding hands, but they're both, and the water that signifies riches, we are told, because they were dry the first 4 episodes of the season, and now he makes sure they're fully stocked. There's nice water. The water is always the center of parties. The water is where Spartacus fights, and now it is nothing but blood. And I love the imagery there. And Spartacus gets he gets the big saying. But man, after 7 could be great finales, what they give you is a slaughterhouse. And it is the best thing ever.
Probably my favorite scene is in the last episode where Lilithia goes through the door and tells the guards to block off the door. And all those people are trapped, and it just cuts to a bunch of scenes of the gladiators just up close doing like slashing motion, and blood is just flying. It's like this black flash of just constant cutting. It was sick. Oh my god, that scene was sick.
The whole and then him fighting Asher is great. Oenomaus fighting Asher. How Asher rolls a dead body over him. Asher's a snake and gets away, which is great because his fate's going to be worse. But I mean, honestly, everyone had a chance. The brothers, the new brothers, one of them died. Of course, you kind of knew that was going to happen. But everyone has a chance to shine. It is all out war. And it's so satisfying. And like you said, this could have been the end. This could have been the end of the show. I would have been happy too. I say, and that's the end of season 1.
Yeah. Prequel I like a lot just because of Gannicus, but man, I'm dreading that scene, but I'm ready for it.
Okay, we'll talk about everything. We're going to talk about, what is that called? That is called Gods Among Us.
I don't even know.
I should have looked this up. I think it's called Spartacus Gods Among Us. No, Gods of the Arena. Excuse me. Gods of the Arena is what it's called. All right, Gods of the Arena. Okay, we're about to see some awesome stuff too. Yeah, everyone's telling us that. He's gonna be great. I can't wait. Now, this is only 6 episodes, which means we're coming back this weekend to talk about it. Here's the thing. Here's the true thing. Was it Monday we talked? Was it yesterday or was it Sunday? When did we say, hey, let's go ahead and do this?
Sunday. I feel like it was like Sunday or Saturday.
Saturday? Okay. It was this weekend that I called. I told Bernard, I said, hey, we should really watch this and do a review. And he goes, okay, I'll probably have this done by Wednesday. Ha ha. And I went, dang, I don't think I can do Wednesday, but probably by the end of the week. And here it is Tuesday because it's so stinking good.
It is.
So we're going to be back. We're going to talk about Gods Among Us probably Friday. I don't know. It's 6 episodes. But I cannot wait because I freaking love this show on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to have to give this 100,000 because it just blows the scales off. I knew I loved the show. I knew this is one of my favorite shows of all time. But watching it again and finding the little nuances and enjoying actors who aren't talking but just in a look can say everything. Beautiful.
I'm scared this show's gonna push the board game higher on my list again, yo.
It's already number 2 for me.
Mine is right now.
I ranked it's been number 2 or number 3. Hold on, let me see if I can find my list. It's been number 2 or number 3 for me forever. I don't know if it ever went below. Okay, 1 year it was 5. What was I thinking? But it was 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 5, 3, 3, 2. I mean, it just keeps moving up and down, but it's always there. It is such a wonderful game. Where is it playing right now? He said Netflix doesn't have it. Where can they watch it if they want to watch it?
I'm watching it on Stars. I'm watching it on Stars. I'm one of those random people that actually have Stars because I watch Power.
That's fine. Grab Stars for a month and just binge watch the whole thing. Binge watch the whole. It's 13 episodes a season, except for Gods of the Arena. That's only 6. Gods of the Arena.
On Amazon. You can get on Amazon Prime. You just got.
Get it digitally. Then just buy it. It's great. Get the DVD, physical media, y'all. I don't care. I got the DVD, but either way, I watch it streaming too. But either way, you gotta watch it. It's great. We're gonna come back next time. We're gonna talk about Gods of the Arena, folks. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. And we will see you whenever we finish it, probably this weekend.
Yeah.
And remember, we are Spartacus. See you later. Bye.